When did the I crave attention kid go too far? He drank an entire bottle of vodka at lunch and was kicked out of school. An entire bottle? He didn't die first? No. From what I heard, he threw up and was taken to the hospital. Little brother is a few years younger than me. He used to come into my room to harass me all the time and my parents never allowed me to have a lock. He was around 10 when I started propping a piano stand under my doorknob to keep people out. I'm so sick of people saying it was a fire hazard. Could use whatever you could to if your parents never knocked and your brother used to shoot you with their soft guns. Little brother pushed the door and the piano stand was at the knob. I ignored it before all I heard was the loudest bang followed by a thud. I opened the door to see him laying on the floor, holding his face and crying. Apparently, he decided that he could break down my door like in the movies by throwing himself against it after running from down the hall. But this dumbass didn't just throw his shoulder or kick it. He threw his entire body against it like a squirrel going for a tree. Arms and legs out. Face ducking first. I got blamed for it, but it was worth it. Only time I ever laughed that hard at his expense again was when he tried to fart into my room and shat himself about 2 years later. That last part is the very definition of a critical failure. A girl once punched herself in the gut at her little Brosby day party and threw up just so people would notice her. That's commitment. Mama didn't raise no quitter. Started angrily pumping weights when we were chilling at someone's house. Threatened to shave his head and then tore his shirt off of his body. Did he drink a Monster? And was his name Kyle? Snuck vodka into state mandated testing in a water bottle. She was sent home drunk off her ass and my entire class was banned from having water bottles in class for the rest of the year. Interstate testing? How stupid can some people be? Edit, I just got more upvotes than the rest of my comments combined. Edit 2. Holy it. We did it, boys. We struck gold. IDK. This girl did anything for attention. She sexually harassed me quite a bit too. He was a massive jerk. One day we had a supply in science and he got up on the desk, whipped his dick out and yelled "I'm Gandhi," then ran out of the classroom. He went to a special needs school 2 months later. A teacher friend of mine told me once about a student she had who cut a hole in the pocket of his jeans so he could stick his dick through it, and when the teacher wasn't looking he'd poke it out through the pocket and thrust it towards the girls in class. Finally one day she caught him in the act and he got either suspended or kicked out. IDR. There was this girl for a while that had this huge crush on me. And she didn't seem to realize that she had been a total jerk to me for most of my life and that I really disliked her. Finally she decided to get my attention by stealing my $300 leather jacket and saying that she wouldn't give it back unless I went out with her. So I contacted her mom and told her that if she didn't intervene, then my parents were going to press charges. The day after she gave my jacket back, she sent me this long ass text talking about how I hurt her so badly, and it would take a long time to earn back her trust. I replied by saying I don't want you to trust me. I want you to leave me alone. And we haven't spoken since. I was at my friend's house. I was bored and started playing Portal 2 on his box. After a while my other friend's sister, who mind you treated attention like a drug, burst into the room and starts screaming at me like we were dating and in a fight. My friend was there too and just watched. Every time I would tell her to leave she would get louder. She has a crush on you and wants your attention. Started yelling and screaming purely in an annoying and antagonistic way during a school shooting drill. We had no idea it was a drill and the kid is just banging on walls and yelling, "Hey, we're in here, we're in here," as other students are in the corner and girls are crying because they truly believe this kid is going to get them killed. The teacher and student aides were trying to restrain him and a friend of mine, again, still under the impression this was real, literally stood up to go punch his lights out to shut him up just as the drill ended and was revealed to be just a drill. Had the announcement come a few seconds later, that kid would have gotten knocked the hell out. Wait. Are you saying that schools, in the US, have shooter drills that are not announced as drills until they are over? So a couple of times a year there is an announcement that there is a shooter on the property and everyone goes into hiding thinking it is real. Hello. Welcome to America. It's a ducking horror show. When I was in middle school, our friend group had an attention-seeking girl. She was generally alright for a middle schooler, hormonal teenager chinus aside. But we could all tell she was a bit troubled. She would lie about everything. She made up family members that didn't exist. Tried to claim that every dark-haired, thin, female extra in a music video that only appeared for a split second was her. And all sorts of other things. For example, once, she dug a huge bloody hole in her lip and claimed that her brother punched her. Except, she didn't have a brother. One day, she started texting us about how she's drunk, cut her arms up, and is trying to put things like Sharpie ink into the cuts so that it would poison her and kill her. Naturally, we all panicked. One of the girls in our group decided to call the police. And she ended up being put in some sort of a mental hospital for a while. When she came back, she was super pissed at us and refused to speak to any of us. I guess she didn't get the reaction she wanted. She showed no physical signs of the kind of self-harm she claimed to have done to herself either. Some kid shat on the ducking toilet seat. A week later he shat in the sink. I don't get why people liked him. As someone that worked as a bathroom janitor, I ducking hate people that do that type of it. No one that does that cares or thinks about the cleanup. Itch put powdered laxatives in his friend's drinks. This was in 6th grade. A couple kids put a bunch of crushed up Adderall in a kid's soda at my school. The kid who drank it ended up having a series of seizures and having to spend some time in the hospital. Teacher assigned us a confessional speech and he admitted he had the hots for his sister, then got defensive when we recoiled with yes and no or. He claimed we were all on the wrong side of history and that consensual incest was going to be the next big thing. How did that turn out? His sister claimed he was obsessed with Caitlyn Jenner and that he was trying to corner the market on the next big civil rights movement. Ducked a horse and took a video of it. Bragged to a couple other weirdos about the horse ducking. They sent themselves a video off his phone and it went around the whole school. Enlisted right after graduation probably to escape horse ducker reputation. It would take more than one guy to duck a horse. Allegedly. My ex-roommate did a whole lot of stupid it for attention. She constantly posted things on social media like the world would be better off without me. Nobody wants me alive etc. But she always refused to get actual help. When her boyfriend broke up with her, she went around telling everyone that she broke up with him after he raped her. She always bragged to people she had just met about how many guys she had been with, how much she loved weed and alcohol etc. She got engaged to her Tinder duck buddy she had only known for a few months. And she made me homeless because her engagement was supposed to be a secret from her parents. They found out and she blamed me. So she made a whole bunch of it up about me emotionally abusing her, even though that's what she was doing to me the entire time I lived with her. That way her parents would kick me out. They owned the loft we were staying in. I haven't spoken to her since I was kicked out. But from what I hear from other people, the psycho itch is going nowhere in life. She got kicked out of her first choice university. Dropped out of community college after failing all of her classes her first semester. And has been stuck as a cashier at a Ritty grocery store for the past 2 years. Oh. And her Tinder duck buddy broke the engagement with her right after I was made homeless. Guess he finally got a brain and realized she's insane. There used to be a guy in my class that would do anything for attention. The other guys in class liked to make him do dumb stuff and he always thought he somehow proved himself. He did things like cutting of his hair during lessons, touch girls where he shouldn't and start fire alarms just for fun. One day he got caught masturbating in the cafeteria. Twice. She told the whole school that some dude got her pregnant with twins. And that she had an abortion. She printed pictures of ultrasounds off the internet. And put balloons on his locker on the twins' birthday. Jokes on her because she didn't cut the URL off one of the ultrasound pictures. He was this annoying popular kid who loved getting attention, and in 6th grade he set a bathroom trash can on fire so the entire school had to stand out in the snow for like 10 minutes, and then we sat in the gym for another 15. SMH, what a dumbus. Edit. Didn't expect to get this many upvotes because this is my first comment. Almost every school shooting. My old friend online. He used to say he was depressed and suicidal. And did self-harm. Everhone thought they were real. At first I did too. Until I was looking up fake cuts on YouTube for Halloween. And saw a cut that looked like his. Went back on Discord to look at the picture of the cut. And there I saw the pen ink. And confronted him. But apparently he was rushed to an emergency room from that same cut. And was put on suicide watch for 24 hours but had his phone the entire time. And couldn't take pictures of proof. In the end. A few weeks later we were in a Discord server. And I joined the public call there, and there he was. Yeah, a few weeks ago I lied to my old friend saying I got some cut and was in the emergency room. We talk daily still like real friends and not old friends. Then I said, oh really? Well then we're not talking anymore then, and he tried apologizing and saying he lied to then, but I was done with his bullet. I blocked him and never talked to him again. This was December 2018. Edit. A few peoples keep asking for his name. All information I will put out about him is. I'm 75% sure his name was Angel. He should be 15 years old. Twerked in front the classroom. Happened to me too. 7th grade. A girl named Nania. My junior year of high school someone threatened to shoot up graduation. Rightfully the police were called and he was suspended. Had an online friend claim while we were making an MC server that he was super rich and had a mansion. And like 5 Bugattis and Ferraris and what the duck ever. Showed us inspect element versions of his PayPal. Posted his Google image ass cars all over the Discord. Had a mightier than thou tone. Abused his admin on the server a lot. He never once showed us his actual face or spoke on VC. Once he got busted. He DM'd me pretending to be his brother saying that he had died. Then a couple days later his brother DM'd me and said the doc's ducked up and he's actually been in a coma for like 2 days, but told me to tell you he feels betrayed that you never believed him. I blocked the duck out of him when he DM'd me a few months later saying suck bro. Been a long time since I saw you. Anyone wants proof of this? I got you. PS. Duck off Salvatore, you snot rocket in a red covered tree. A girl in 6th grade started yelling at me and my friend that we were racist just because we both happened to be white. When we ignored her she went to the teacher and told her that we called her fat and were bullying her. She's also super skinny and in shape, so. He was a jerk. I had a couple of pet goats and he would come over and bully them all the time. He'd poke them through the fence with sticks. Throw rocks at them. Spook them with loud noises, but he'd never go into the pen. He was too scared of them. He should have known better. He was 16. One day we're all inside and we hear this blood-curdling scream. In comes the kid. Screaming at the top of his lungs. The goat. The goat is after me. Help. We turn to see the big billy goat staring at him through the sliding glass door. Every once in a while it'd headbutt the glass. Now this was a very docile animal. He'd have never hurt a fly, but he was out for that boy's blood. It turns out that the kid had been torturing the goat. He had him pinned up against the wall of the pen throwing rocks and sticks at its testicles to see if he could hit them. The goat came after him. Scaled the fence. And chased him across 3 acres of land and into the house. The kid waited for 2 hours for the goat to go away. But it never did. Anytime he opened a door to try to sneak away, the goat was right there trying to attack him. Eventually the goat disappeared and the kid tried to sneak out a window feet first, and once again started screaming. Because the goat was right there headbutting his backside as he climbed out. It was absolutely liberating. In high school. Claimed she was pregnant with triplets and then a few weeks later claimed she had cancer now so she lost them. This stupid ass kid did a ton of acid shortly before a pep rally in high school and freaked out during it. First the school called the police. but apparently he was freaking out too much, so they had to call an ambulance to hold him down and carry him out via stretcher. Pretty sure he got expelled because I never saw him in one of the classes we were both in ever again.